Albuquerque. All of these I attended, fearing each one would be the last. And Howard lived on. He loved life so much. He wanted to live. And he lived well past the time that he was expected to survive. Death would come and he'd say, "Go away." And then finally on Sunday, finally it was time. My relationship with Howard over the last 10 years was close. We spent hundreds, if not thousands of hours on the phone. Norm, of all the things in the library, the documents and the Ibogaine gray literature and ephemera, there's one thing that I want, the only thing that I don't have. And that's the copy of Howard's voice on his answering machine. Howard always screened his calls, and I always heard that. And it reminds me of all those conversations. We always talked about the work, about Ibogaine. But that was about everything. That was about addiction and healing and the brain and life and death and greed and generosity and altruism and pettiness and expansiveness and transcendence and binding across time to our ancestors, binding across space to one another regardless of our geographic separation or distance, resurrection, redemption, all of you, us. Norma, you heard a lot of those conversations, and there was probably an aspect of that which sounded like kids trading baseball cards as we would share our valued items. The Cloet report, or the original SIBA patent. And I've got that latest paper out of UCSF on GDNF that you wanted, the Australian Public Health Report with the methadone. A picture of Leo Zeff, Vincent Dole. He was so young then. Stan Glick sends his regards. Stan, as most of you know, is the chairman of pharmacology and neuroscience at the Medical College of Albany. And he's produced a string of more than 60 publications on iboga alkaloids, and they're still coming. And that began with work that Howard supported over 20 years ago. Howard had the highest regards for Stan, a real gentleman. Stan has high regards for Howard. When I spoke with Stan a couple days ago, Stan said, "He left his mark." Indeed. Stan was referring to the impact of a man with a film degree from NYU who somehow managed to get the National Institute on Drug Abuse to focus on a pharmacological paradigm shift, and I cannot imagine anyone else being able to have done that, being able to do anything like that. That night of work produced scores of peer-reviewed publications and paved the way for an FDA-approved clinical trial in which human beings received Ibogaine. The reverberations of that continue, I assure you. Howard was proud of his association with Jan Bastians, the Dutch psychiatrist and a major pioneering figure in the therapeutic uses of hallucinogens. Regarding his relationship with Bastians, had said, "I was the professor's right-hand man." Well, my name appears with Howard's on some publications, and I can say, and proudly, I was the professor's right-hand man. On a publication you'll sometimes see dedicated to the memory of, but that's also an acknowledgement section where you say, with the assistance of, and in future publications, we're not going to go the route of saying in the memory of, we're going to say, we acknowledge him and thank him for his help with this manuscript in the present tense. That's time binding, Weedy style. So it's time, and in this interval of time and space, and in this place I have to say goodbye. And I love you. Goodbye.
Thank you so much. Beautiful.